Welcome back, cool beans and cool witches. I am so happy to see you guys in the new year of 2024. So let's kick off some more King of Queens Slightly Obsessed. This video is just going to be on a few quick little tidbits that I noticed. And we do know, guys, we do know that sometimes TV shows change the sets around or even script consistencies around just for the sake of a joke, just for the sake of a gag. We totally get it. If you get it, like the video. If you understand, comment. But we're going to talk about a few things that I noticed while watching some compilations of videos of King of Queens. So the first one is when Doug goes to meet Carrie and he's in that little elevator. His clothes disappear in the elevator after he changes from his IPS uniform into his nice formal suit. And as we know, that's the elevator that everyone takes up and down to that specific apartment. It actually opens up to the apartment, and even the doorman was rude about him having a place to change. We know that people are going to be going up and down in that elevator, and it was just weird that they didn't even have him bring out his suit. And maybe that could have been a gag in the show of where he was going to hang his suit or put his suit since he changed in the elevator. The next is something that was just happening randomly in the background of the scene in the episode where Doug starts having a food affair with Spence's girlfriend, who is in cooking school. And right here in the scene where they've invited Spence and his girlfriend over to watch The Wizard of Oz with Arthur and them, there's this random thing. I thought it was a jacket on the floor, but then it blows up and it looks like maybe a pop-up bag. I really don't know, but you just see it going flat and going popped up to a bag, going flat in the middle of this scene in the kitchen. And I don't know why it's there. I don't know if it's there as a sight gag, an Easter egg, an inside joke, or because it doesn't seem like they forgot about it because it keeps moving. So obviously someone is moving it and doing something to it, manipulating it whenever there's a cut yelled. It has to be during cuts because we don't see them touch it at all during this scene. And it just stood out to me as like, what's going on here? The next few clips highlight the confusion over this driveway and this garage situation. We've seen Lou park here as if it's his driveway. We've also seen Doug and Carrie park here and drive in as if it's their driveway. We also know from other episodes that they drive into their garage from the back alley, and they only mention this sometimes. Even sometimes Deacon acts like he's coming from this driveway to come into their house. I don't know. This next clip is something that I completely missed, but upon a couple of rewatches, I actually started to notice the difference in Deacon and Kelly's apartment. You can look on the left side of the screen and notice that they used to just have a shelf there and a complete wall. You could not see into the kitchen. And then all of a sudden it changes to where they actually have an open pass through. And the kitchen is actually different than the episode when Doug loans Carrie to Deacon for Thanksgiving. And this episode where Spence becomes their houseboy. And also, another episode where Spence becomes their houseboy. This is the episode where it's Lobster Man story comes that Doug creates for Kirby and scares the living daylights out of him. So I just noticed that this was a different apartment, pieces of the apartment. So there was a storyline where Deacon and Kelly were going to buy a house and then they didn't want to live next door to Doug and Carrie. So maybe this is their new apartment. Maybe they just switched apartments inside the same building and got a different layout. This next clip is where we can see someone just out of frame in the episode where Doug is walking the Satsky's dog. I don't know if they are a dog trainer or setting some type of marker for the scene. So I don't know if it was an extra or a crew member, but I just thought that was another cool catch to see on one of our favorite shows. So that's the end of this episode of Slightly Obsessed, full of noticeable things. And maybe these things were left in on purpose. Maybe they were left in because they were doing so many different shots. I mean, this show really does give us fake world building here. So they give us a lot of different scenarios and situations. I mean, we're at parks, we're in a couple of different workplaces, we're in spas, we're traveling, they're doing road shots. This show is really good about taking us and giving us the feel. And especially if you were a person like me who actually loved New York, not loved, back in the day. I don't know how it is now, but I loved New York. Like I always wanted to go there and I finally did get to go there. So this was like my little peek inside of some New Yorkers that I could sit with and hang out with every week or so. So for me, getting to see all these different places, even though they're sets, was like a treat to me. So, like I said, the show is so perfect. It's like some of these things, maybe they were just doing so much. Some things just got caught and maybe they were just like, it doesn't matter. It's cool. It's a great show. And it is still cool. We love these things. It just reminds us how great this show is and how none of this even was seen or thought of when we were just watching it on TV. We get to see this stuff in streamings. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hit the like if you did. Share it with somebody who maybe doesn't know about King of Queens. Maybe these goofy things will get them into the show. And comment your favorite character down below, or even your favorite character introduction. I love that Holly was on here first as the lady that was selling Carrie the baby stuff. And I absolutely adore that they brought her back as Arthur's dog walker and Spence's dog walker. Arthur's person walker. I'm sorry, he's not a dog. But I absolutely loved her addition to the show. You let me know yours. And don't forget, it was a mercy flirt.